With the recent news that House of the Dragon star Millie Alcott will be playing Supergirl, we're going to get into what other characters are going to be in Superman Legacy right now. We talked about Millie Alcott was in the running for Supergirl. She got cast as Supergirl.
Which I thought she'd be the most likely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She did a phenomenal job in House of the Dragon. For those that haven't seen that, go watch season 1 of House of the Dragon. She's in the first 5 episodes as a young Rhaenyra Targaryen. Did a fantastic job. I think she's a great choice to play Supergirl, and James Gunn has hit it out of the park so far. And we now know that she'll make some type of appearance in Superman Legacy before she does Woman of Tomorrow, her own movie with DC. So while we're talking about that, what other characters do we expect to see in Superman Legacy? Let's go over a few that maybe we haven't talked about. So obviously we know David Cornsweet is Superman, and we know Millie Alcott is going to play Supergirl. But one of the ones we haven't really talked about much was the actress Isabella Merced will be playing Hawkgirl. So first of all, give me your thoughts, Sterling. I don't know. I don't remember much about Hawkgirl. Obviously, Hawkman was all over DC, but Hawkgirl. What do you think about Isabella Merced playing Hawkgirl?
I mean, I think she's a good casting. Their casting has pretty much been perfect across the board.
I think so.
The only thing that concerns me is she's not really a character that I think would be linked with Superman right out of the gate. So I'm a little bit concerned the movie's kind of looking bloated with all the different
How much
characters
screen time she gets, these other characters?
Yeah, it's just it's obvious they're trying to set up an entire new universe. Like, this is going to be their main universe going forward. So I know they're trying to put a bunch of stuff in there, and they're going to have a bunch of stuff that leads into other things.
I don't think that Hawkgirl or Supergirl are going to have a lot of screen time in the Superman Legacy movie.
Well, Supergirl will probably end up having her own movie at some point.
Well,
right?
but she'll make an appearance in this one as an introduction. But I don't think they're going to have a lot of screen time. So, I think this is just giving us a glimpse of the larger new Superman world that DC and James Gunn is building. So Isabella Merced playing Hawkgirl. After that, we've and we'll put up some shots too of Isabella Merced. She's been working out, trying to get a little jacked up for her role as Hawkgirl. So we'll put those on the screen for you to see as well. But after that, we have an interesting character. Edie Gathegi is playing Mr. Terrific, and he was in the Apple TV series For All Mankind. I don't know if you watched that, but a very good actor. He also played, going back, he played in the vampire movies with Robert Pattinson. He played a vampire.
Did he play Darwin in the X-Men First Class?
I think so.
Okay,
I think he did.
that's what I know him from.
I think he did. Yeah. Edie did play in that, I believe. And so Mr. Terrific, I don't know how. I think this is another one where it's going to be limited screen time, but will be introduced and have some type of role. Now, the next one that is interesting is Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho. And Anthony Carrigan is an interesting choice. He's been in TV series, and he's kind of has a strange look to him, and so I think he'll have a minimal role in it as well. But then we get to Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, and I think we may have quite a bit of screen time of Guy Gardner. Is the Green Lantern, the Guy Gardner version of Green Lantern?
It's crazy though, because that's probably
That's a core member of the Justice League.
Not that Green Lantern. Not
No,
Guy
it's
Gardner.
not. But the fact that
Hal
he's-
Jordan's the one you think of first,
Yes.
and then probably John Stewart after that, and then.
But I gotta think Nathan Fillion is going to have a bigger role than some of these other people that they've announced.
Maybe it's just so weird that Guy Gardner's the first Green Lantern that you're going to introduce in your new universe.
Yeah,
But,
it is. It's an interesting choice. But then we have a character that they have covered quite a bit that is going to be a little bit of an antagonist, and that's Gabriella DeFaria as the engineer. And so, I think we're going to see more of the engineer and more of Guy Gardner than we will Hawkgirl or Mr. Terrific or Metamorpho. That's just my prediction. And then we have the comedic character played by Skylar Gassando as Jimmy Olsen. And then, of course, we cover the Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor casting, which is fantastic. But that's, you round out now that we know that Supergirl will be appearing and will be played by Millie Alcott, that rounds out the cast led by Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane and David Cornsweet. I don't think we see the main villain in any of these characters. The Engineer has been rumored as an antagonist, but can't be the main villain. I just don't see that. So, and I don't think Lex Luthor is going to be the main villain either. I think that we're going to be introduced to Lex Luthor that's going to build.
Right.
Because I think having a relationship between
that's really the best way to build it, though. If you're going to do a brand new universe,
make them more like friendly and they become enemies.
Well, he's like an evil Bruce Wayne in a way. He always has his hands and things. He's really rich, really smart, and that's how you need to use him. You don't want him to be like a one and done villain, because from a physical standpoint, you can't really compete with Superman. But I don't know. That's the only thing I'm concerned about is that the cast is pretty bloated, and then I still don't know who the main villain's going to be.
Could it be that none of these are really the villain, but they're basically all operating under the new Authority? What are your thoughts around that? I know you know more about the Authority than I do.
Well, this could be like their version of the Authority, which wouldn't be. I think the only one that was actually in the Authority in the comics was the Engineer. But they're basically a superhero group that kind of operates outside of the rules.
Kind of like a Batman character.
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're a little more evil than Batman, but they're not evil. But it could be a situation where they're all villains, like Superman's fighting all of them. That may be, because I don't see any single character there that's really worthy of
true villain other than Lex.
Yeah, other than Lex Luthor, and so I don't know. I'm really curious to see where they go with it.
Yeah, so I think you're onto something as far as like these other characters' roles within working with the Engineer, potentially in the Authority, and being antagonistic to Superman. But we'll see as it plays out. We maybe possibly get other casting announcements, but with Lex Luthor in it, we know we're at least going to be introduced to someone who's going to ultimately become the big bad villain. So what do you think? These are the characters, and we keep getting more casting added in now with Millie Alcott. What do you think? Are you excited for Superman Legacy that's going to be filming in Atlanta? I think they've just started. They may have just started filming either pre-production shots or they've started activity in Atlanta on the production. What are your thoughts? What's your favorite casting in this movie that's coming out from James Gunn and DC? Let us know who you think the villain might be for the movie, who you would like to see as the villain. While you're doing that, smash that like button, hit the notifications bell, and most importantly, hit subscribe so we can continue to grow our channel. Thanks, and TCB.